Now, I've made many different varieties of dumplings on this show, but I've never made Afghan dumplings. This is a recipe a friend showed me recently and they taste divine. The filling of the dumplings are made with meat and then they're topped with two varieties of sauces, a tomato sauce and a yogurt sauce. Now I'm making everything from scratch in my cuisine companion and I've given myself a head start with the tomato sauce. It's a very basic tomato sauce, a combination of onions, garlic and tomato, and I've just placed it into a pot just to warm up later on. Now for the dumpling filling. Now I've chopped and started to fry my onions off in the cuisine companion. You can see that they're lovely and soft. I don't want any caramelization on the onions. I just want the sweetness from them. Now I'll add a pinch of salt and the meat. Now I'm using beef mince for this and we need 500 grams and I'll crumble up in my hands and then add that straight to the cuisine companion. Along with a few spices, some ground coriander and some ground cumin. That's going to give it a lovely flavour. Now I'll add another drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and some freshly cracked pepper. All right. Now, that's the filling pretty much done. We just need to cook this. So I'll place the lid on. I'm going to cook this at 95 degrees and we'll cook this for about 15 to 20 minutes. Because it's minced meat, it won't take long at all. And then once that's done, we'll cool it completely. Now, while the filling is cooking, for the yogurt sauce, some Greek-style yogurt in a bowl, I'll add some garlic that I'll finely mince. We'll just tap that on the side of the bowl. And some lemon zest. And to thin out the sauce, half a lemon will squeeze in. I want this to drizzle over the top, so you don't want it to be too thick, and lemon will help that out. I'll give that a nice little mix. And that's the yogurt sauce done and dusted. So I'll put this to the side. We'll wait for this to finish cooking and cool completely. Then we can get on to the really fun part, which is making the dumplings. So the meat has completely cooked and cooled down to room temperature. You don't want this to be piping hot when we start to make our dumplings. I've bought some gyoza wrappers, which are Japanese dumpling wrappers. I covered them with some cling wrap just to make sure that they don't dry out. And I'll start with 6. And now we can start filling them. I'll have some water on standby just to glue the sides together. Now, using a teaspoon, we'll grab our meat mixture, and you don't want to overfill them, but we do want about 1.5 teaspoons of meat, just like that. Then what we do is grab our little brush and brush a light amount of water around the wrapper. Now there's a few ways I've seen this being done. You can crinkle it up together just so it resembles a money bag, or you can do what I'm doing, which is just covering the meat and turning it into a half moon dumpling, taking out all the air pockets. So just with your fingers, gently press around the meat and closing it with the wrapper. And that's the first one done. Now, the cuisine companion also steams, so I've placed some water into the bowl. I'm going to set this on the steamer function and we'll get that water starting to heat up. I'll finish making these dumplings and I've got this steamer basket that has 2 layers. So I've just placed some baking paper in the bottom steamer basket and I have some on the top. That just means we can make extra dumplings, which is always a good thing. Now the dumplings are almost cooked, so let's finish off this tomato sauce that I pre-made. I'm reheating it, and now what I want to do is add some lentils. Now this is also done with many different varieties of pulses. I'm using canned lentils, there's nothing wrong with them. Or if you have a little bit more time, you can cook your own lentils. So just mix them through. I'll also add some finely chopped coriander. We'll scrunch that up and then chop it up. About 1.5 tablespoons, and we'll fold that through. And the sauce is done. Now to plate this up, a generous spoonful of yogurt on the plate and just scatter it around. And now for our dumplings. So I'll take the basket off the bowl. I'm so happy with the way these dumplings look. They've shriveled up a bit. You can see the mince inside and they're lovely and soft. Now I'm just going to scatter these in the yogurt. And it's kind of a layered process with the sauce. You want to cover the plate completely with our dumplings. Then we're going to add some more yogurt and the rest of the sauce. So a few more. And it looks so good on this black plate. Now just move that to the side. And now for our lentil and tomato sauce, we can add dollops of this in and around the dumplings. Usually you see this in a bamboo steamer basket with variety of Asian style sauces, but it just shows how versatile dumplings are. Most cultures have their variety of dumplings, and this is a really interesting way to serve them. Now for some more yogurt, we'll just drizzle that over the top. All right, the pièce de résistance here is some mint, dried mint. Used quite a lot in Afghani cooking. It's got a really intense mint flavour, but it goes quite nicely with the beef and the lentils, and we'll just sprinkle that over. That brings it all together, just for another splash of colour. Extra virgin olive oil drizzled over the top. You know, I'm so happy my friend showed me how to make these great dumplings. And you know what? It's just made so much easier when everything's done in the one machine.